When we look back at the harsh winters of history, it's easy to romanticize them, but the truth is far grimmer. For soldiers in World War II, settlers in the American frontier, or Viking families huddled in their longhouses, winter wasn't a season to endure. It was a relentless opponent. The cold wasn't just an inconvenience. It killed silently, slowly sapping strength and life before hunger or enemies ever had the chance. Understanding how people survived these extreme conditions is not just a lesson in history, it's a blueprint for resilience and practical survival skills that remain relevant today. Before we dive deeper into these survival strategies, make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe to The Hard Past. Supporting the channel ensures we can keep uncovering these forgotten stories of human endurance. One of the first truths about historical winter survival is that, well, comfort was a luxury few could afford. Unlike today, there was no central heating or insulated homes. In the 1800s and earlier, people slept in bedrooms that were little more than wooden boxes, often with a single fireplace or stove in the house. Yet, despite this, many historical accounts describe surprisingly pretty good sleep during the bitter cold. Why? The human body adapts to consistent exposure. People layered their bedding with thick wool, fur or straw, and their nightly routines included warming the bed with hot stones or coals safely wrapped in cloth. These simple yet effective methods created localized warmth, preserving core body heat even when the room itself was honestly freezing. Another critical factor was clothing. While modern winter wear relies on synthetic insulation, historical garments were layered and crafted to trap air close to the body. Wool and animal hides were the standard, offering both insulation and moisture-wicking capabilities. Unlike today's obsession with style over substance, historical clothing was strictly functional. In military camps or frontier settlements, the failure to layer effectively often meant frostbite or death. Understanding this helps us appreciate how ingenuity, not technology alone, allowed people to endure brutal winters. Fuel management was another essential skill. Wood stoves, fireplaces and, in some cases, small portable heaters provided necessary warmth, but resources were, often quite scarce. In many accounts, families rationed wood so carefully that one small fire would be kept smouldering all night. Often, stones and metal containers would be placed strategically to help radiate heat throughout the living area. The Vikings, for instance, mastered longhouse construction to maximize heat retention. Their central hearths were designed to funnel smoke while also radiating warmth, and homes were partially sunken into the ground to help insulate against wind and frost. Understanding the architecture and resourcefulness of these ancient dwellings gives us insight into how communities managed to survive months of sub-zero temperatures without any modern conveniences. Hydration and nutrition also played a surprisingly important role in surviving the cold. You see, dehydration reduces blood circulation and makes hypothermia far more likely, and calorically dense meals were essential to maintain energy and body heat. Historical records frequently note the importance of soups, stews, and preserved meats during winter campaigns or harsh settlements. Soldiers marching through Europe or settlers in the Northern Territories relied on high-fat and high-protein rations to sustain their bodies when every ounce of energy was needed just to stay alive. This principle extends beyond survival. It reflects a universal truth. The human body is a machine that performs under stress only if it is properly fueled and hydrated. In extreme historical situations, improvisation often determined survival. Field manuals from World War II describe soldiers creating makeshift insulation with newspaper, extra clothing, and even, well, dirt. Settlers in frontier America used every part of the land to their advantage, from snow walls to trap wind, to fires buried in pits for warmth, and to snow-packed roofs to prevent heat loss. What stands out is the mindset. Survival depended on understanding one's environment and using available materials creatively. There were no shortcuts, and failure to adapt was, quite frankly, fatal. These lessons are timeless, showing that preparation, observation, and resourcefulness were more important than any single technology or modern convenience. The historical record is full of fascinating examples of extreme winter survival. German soldiers during the Russian winter of 1941 survived by layering socks, tucking newspapers under uniforms, and constantly moving to keep blood flowing. At the same time, British settlers on the American plains managed to survive months of isolation by rotating chores and heating one small central area rather than attempting to warm an entire house. These examples reveal a pattern. Survival required discipline, ingenuity, and a deep understanding of how heat, body insulation, and energy consumption interact. Modern viewers often underestimate the daily resilience required in these environments. Sleeping through a night at -10 or -20 degrees, cooking, maintaining warmth, and simply keeping morale high required constant attention to small, practical details. There were no warnings, no power grids to rely on, just human skill, planning, and a relentless adaptation to circumstance. By studying these historical methods, we gain insights not only into survival, but also into human perseverance, community ingenuity, and the evolution of living strategies in hostile environments. Understanding winter survival from a historical perspective transforms the way we think about hardship. It emphasizes creativity, preparation, and respect for natural limits. Every layer of clothing, every strategic fire, and every calorically dense meal had purpose. History shows that humans can endure far beyond what we might assume, and these lessons remain valuable for both the everyday viewer and those fascinated by emergency preparedness survival or historical living conditions. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into winter survival strategies of the past, don't forget to subscribe to The Hard Past, share this video with fellow history enthusiasts, and comment below with your thoughts or questions. The stories of human endurance are endless, and by supporting the channel, you help bring these forgotten survival techniques back to life for everyone who loves history.